Chris Atkins here again, President of the CAT Company and co-founder of groupofnations.com. Thank you for joining me today and for your interest in learning more about the G7 and G20 global summits. For additional information, you can visit us at groupofnations.com, and also please subscribe to the YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button below and the alarm bell for notifications. The Group of Seven, or G7 as it's most commonly known, is an international intergovernmental economic organisation consisting of the 7 largest and most advanced economies in the world. Originating in 1973 as a response to the faltering global economy of the early 1970s, the first iteration of the current G7 was known as the Group of Four and consisted of finance ministers from West Germany, France, the United Kingdom and the United States. Later that year, Japan was invited to join, and the group was subsequently known as the Group of Five. Their objectives was to become an informal forum for the world's major industrialized nations. However, in 1974 saw an unprecedented number of changes to the heads of states and governments in each of the Group 5 nations. And as a response, Gerald Ford, the new President of the United States, asked the other new heads of states and governments to convene at a retreat the following year. He also invited Italy to join them. The purpose of the 1975 retreat was for the new members of the Group of Five to become familiar with one another and to address pressing issues in their representative countries as well as those that were universal. After this successful forum, they decided to hold an annual meeting and became known as the Group of Six, or G6. In 1976, the next largest advanced economy was Canada, who was invited to join the group and thus formed the current G7 as we know it today, consisting of France, Germany, Japan, Italy, and the United Kingdom, Canada, and the United States. In 1977, direct talks between the G7 and the European Community were held for the first time, and later both President of the European Commission and the President of the European Council were invited to attend the annual summit meetings. Russia was also once a member of the group, having been invited to the annual summits since 1991. They were eventually admitted to the group in 1998. Moving forward, the group was then known as the G8. However, Russia's membership to the group was suspended in 2014 after it violated Ukraine's sovereignty by invading and annexing Crimea. The leaders of the G7 member countries and representatives of the EU continue to meet annually and together represent 40% of the global GDP, 10% of the world's population. In addition, special guests, heads of state and government representatives from emerging and developing economies were also invited to attend. In 2019, France held the G7 presidency and invited representatives from Australia, Chile, Egypt, India, Rwanda, Senegal, South Africa and Spain. Presidency of the G7 is on a rotating basis from each member country, and they are responsible for hosting the annual Leaders Summit. In effect, each member country holds the presidency once every 7 years, and the presidency cannot be held by either representative from the EU. Currently, the G7 presidency is held by the United States, and due to the global COVID-19 pandemic, the annual Leaders Summit is scheduled as a virtual event in June 2020 this year. I hope this gives you a greater insight into the history and development of the G7. For more information on the G7, G20, B20 and W20 summits, please visit us at groupofnations.com and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks very much. Please stay safe and I'll speak to you next time.